Hey everyone, Hidden Ninjax here. Gonna go through my ammo guide. We're going off the wiki. I'm gonna go through all the ammos, tell you sort of what they're gonna do, how to use them, when I use them, budget, PvP ammo. I'm gonna also go through the costs. Because the cost benefit is really a big thing when you do like budget ammo. Without further ado, let's get right into it. For my budget, Buckshot is gonna be the 8.5 Magnum. As you see, armor effectiveness, it's a 3 across the board. 8 pellets for 44 damage. It costs 51 rubles from Jaeger a round, and it's about 89 rubles on the flea market. Now for my PvP buckshot. This is what I use is the flechette. It's got 8 for 19, but the pen power is absolutely phenomenal. You have a good chance of one-tapping someone. You really do. It does cost a little bit more at 77 rubles from Jaeger and 99 on the flea market. Honestly, I'll spend that 10 rubles extra on the flechette, and you're so much more effective. Now for 12 gauge slugs, guys. There's only 2 slugs I ever use. For my budget, it's going to be the Pliva 6U. At 140 damage, it's pretty much going to one-tap scavs, blackout limbs. Doesn't have the greatest pen power. I mean, anything over class 3 or class 2, really, it's really not going to do a whole lot. But they're cheap. They're only 70 rubles per round from Jaeger and 75 on the flea market. It's phenomenal, guys. Now, if you want your PvP, what I usually use, it's going to be the AP20 slugs, guys. You can't go wrong. They do 164 damage, 32 pen. As you see, they're effective. Pretty much go through class 3 and do okay against class 4. They're a little bit more expensive at 196 rubles per round from Jaeger and 390 rubles per round on the flea market. I don't ever use 20 gauge. I don't go through them, so we're just gonna skip over that. The 9x18. Not a fan of it, but sometimes I'll use it. Pretty much whenever you use this, you're using leg meta. That's just how it goes. There's 2 rounds I'll use. The SP7, which is sort of like your budget round, sort of. It's got 77 flesh damage. Does nothing against armor, though. It is 150 rubles per round, or 158 rubles per round, and then it's 285 rubles on the flea market. If you're going to go 9x18, you might as well go for SP7. Or just buy whatever you can afford at that point, because you're going to use leg meta anyways. It pretty much doesn't have any arm. If you have the money, buy the PMM. If you're going to do this and try to fight someone with any armor. The PMM costs 144 rounds from traders, but it's a lot cheaper on the flea market. It's 195 rubles per round. That's all I'm going to go through on 9x18. I don't really use them. I don't really use this either, but I will. There is only one round to use. It's the PST GZH. That's all you need to know. There, it costs 73 rubles per round from traders, 76 on the flea market. So you pretty much just get it from the flea market all the way around. 9x19 is a lot more common. Budget, you get it from class 1 traders at the PST GZH. You know, I don't even bother with any of this. If you're gonna do leg meta, use the RIP. But the PST GZH is 65 rubles per round. You buy an unlimited amount of them. Always have access to them. No reason to go on the flea market because you're not going to get it any cheaper. If you're going to go PvP with 9mm, the 9x19, the AP 6.3 is the best for armor. As you see, it's a lot better against armor. Only problem is they are expensive at $4 per round. from the traders, and then right around $6 from the flea market. So it is expensive, and for just that little bit more oomph. The difference between these two is you have to shoot class 6 armor 5 more times the pen to get through it all the way. In my opinion, at the fire rate that 9mm usually does, I'll go with the PST just to save the money. 9x21, guys. 2 rounds to use. The SP10 or the SP13. SP10 is your budget round at 146 rubles per round from the traders and 170 on the flea market. Your SP13 though is a tracer round, and it does cost pretty much double at 276 rubles per round from Propor, and then 370 rubles on the flea market. So keep that in mind, guys. And that's only used on the shrimp pistol. Now we're getting into more of the fun stuff. The 5.7, guys. In my opinion, there's only one round worth doing it. They're all about the same price as the SS 190. It's the best round there is. At $2 a round and 360 rubles per round from the flea market, you can't beat it. Whether you're using the 5.7 or the P90. Now we're going to hop into 4.6, guys. There's 2 rounds I use. For my budget, I use the subsonic. They are 262 rubles per round from mechanic and 380 on the flea market. As you see, you do decent all the way up to, you get to the okay point at class 5, and then it just drops immediately off at class 6. But not many people run class 6 anyways. But then you go to the AP. The AP is where it's at. You can only buy a limited amount though, and they're expensive. The APSX is 730 rubles per round from mechanic and about 860 rubles on the flea market. But as you see, you pretty much pen all the way up to class 6. It is a very effective round. Now let's get to the more fun one, the most common budget weapon. I'll be honest, I never buy these 2 rounds. Yes, they are the most effective against armor, but this gun, the AS-Val and the VSS, have such high fire rates, you don't need to. I pretty much just buy SP5 rounds. At 68 damage per round with a 35 pen, will pretty much shred just about anyone, no matter what armor they're wearing. And an SP5 is so cheap at 142 rubles a round from the traders, and then they're only about 145, just a little bit more per round. If you're going to spend up a little bit more, it jumps up in cost. The SP6 is 615 rubles around and 750 on the flea market. As you can see, it's not that big of a difference. It's an extra like 3-4 rounds in between the top and the SP5. Now the 3.66, guys. Honestly, there's no reason for you to run it. I mean, if you're absolutely going to run it, use the EKO. It's 87 rubles per round and about 70 on the flea market. So you're going to buy it from the flea market if you have access to it. But like I said, you shouldn't be really using 3.66 unless you're doing a meme gun. They do 65 damage per round, but you're okay against armor. Alright, 5.45. There's 2 rounds I use. My budget round is my BT at 44 damage and 37 pen. You're pretty much effective up to class 4, and then just okay against class 5, and then pretty much not going to do anything against class 6. And in BT ammo, it's about 425 rubles per round from the traders, but you can find them for about 230 rubles per round on the flea market if you have it unlocked. It's a very common round to find and pick up in raid. It really is. You can farm it off a reserve very easily. That's why it's a go-to budget round. If you're going to go for PvP and you're spending up on the money, buy BS. I usually skip the Gnolic. BS ammo is about 890 rubles per round from Propor. And and it's about $1,000 around on the flea market. So you can see why I generally just go with BT. Going down to 5.56. There's pretty much two rounds of use: the 855A1 or the M995. The 855A1 about $2 a round. You can only buy a limited quantity, guys, so you got to pick it up as once. If you don't, it's about 690 rubles per round. And then 995 is about $12 from Peacekeeper, and it's about almost 14 to 1500 rubles per round. With that being said, if you're gonna run 5.56, you're gonna spend up on ammo. It's not even worth running this stuff. It really isn't. Now, one of my favorite rounds is the 7.6x39. There's two rounds to use. PS, you get it right off the bat. It's semi-effective. 54 damage, 34 pen. Does okay. Or BP. Now the PS, real dirt cheap, 87 rubles per round. With the BP, it's about 730 rubles per round from the traders, about 800 per round from the flea market. But as you see, you're pretty much gonna get through anything. 7.62x51, guys. Two rounds to essentially use is the M80 or the M61. I do use the M62 sometimes if I can't buy any M61 for cheap. M80 can one tap someone in the thorax if they're class 4 or below. Anything over, you're gonna either 2 or 3 tap them with M80 rounds. M80 is $2 a round or 312 rubles on the flea market. M61 is going to be your more recommended. It's going to pen anything. It's going to go right through no matter what armor they're wearing. But it only does 70 damage, which is still quite a bit. They are $9 a round though. About 1,500, almost 1,600 on the flea market. So they're an expensive round to use. The M62 is pretty much just as good. It is a tracer round though. And that is actually $4 a round and about $8 on the flea market. In all honesty, use the M62 over that. You can use M61, but the M62 is going to pretty much do the same thing, and it's half the cost. One of the last ones is 7.62x54 MMR. If you're running budget, there's two ammos to use, and if you're running more geared, there's two other ammos. LPS, you could buy the LPS GZH. You can buy right off the bat. It's one tap for class 4 and below, and then you're getting into more. You can buy it from level 1 trader. Or an LPS is cheap. It's 179 rubles per round. If you're gonna run I would rather run SMB for more of a budget round. You can find it plenty at 307 rubles per round or 390 on the flea market. Now for more PvP, guys, my all-around round value, the all-around good ammo I use is 7N1. 86 damage, and it pens up to class 4. Pretty much will go through class 5, and then it drops off to 6, but for the most part, you're going to do pretty good. In 7N1, it's 619 rubles per round, or 790 on the flea market. Really want to get that pen down, where it's pretty much going to go through anything. You can go with 7N37. It's about 956 rubles a round from the trader, about almost 1,200 rubles per round on the flea market. And that's 72 damage. You're going to have to 2-tap the thorax or just 1-tap him in the head. Alright, last one is the 12.7, guys. Honestly, if you're running the Ash 12, only ammo to use is the PS 12B. It really is. At 102 damage, being the weakest damage of its class, but you pen pretty much everything, you're almost guaranteed a one tap in the thorax. They are expensive at 592 rubles per round from the traders, and then 1,025 roughly on the flea market. If you're running Ash 12, you're running expensive. You're running kitted out anyway, so you might as well spend up on the ammo. And that's all I got for you guys on this one, guys. It's just me breaking down the ammos. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. If you want this chart, I will link it in the YouTube video in the description. Let me know what you guys want to see. Let me know what I can do better. Thanks again for watching. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And as always, stay safe in Tarkov.